College sports are about to get even more lucrative for student athletes. And that's because as of Friday, following a $2.8 billion lawsuit settlement, colleges will now officially be able to pay their student athletes directly. The $2.8 billion settlement settles 3 different antitrust lawsuits that were being brought against the NCAA. These lawsuits have been ongoing, but on Friday, a settlement was approved by a judge. And that settlement involves almost $2.8 billion of back pay that the NCAA will pay student athletes that participated in sports between 2016 and now over the next 10 years. And these payments to student athletes will be on top of any scholarship or funding they receive from the school that they would have previously. So a student athlete can still receive a full ride to an institution and be paid a salary essentially directly by that school. This is also outside of any money that would have been earned by the name, image, and likeness deals that these student athletes are making. And this marks a pretty significant change in the way that collegiate athletes are viewed. For the longest time, we've seen a conversation about amateurism in college sports, meaning that college athletes should not be allowed to be paid outside of any sort of scholarship or housing they are given by their school. And we have seen that amateurism rule actually ruin careers across the board. There are a ton of documentaries out there that break down individuals who actually had their careers ended by this, where they lost their college eligibility after taking money or gifts by themselves or their family members in exchange for playing at certain schools. All of this conversation really blew up because these schools were making tons of money on these student athletes. And the question was whether or not a college scholarship and room and board was really the same value as what they brought to the school, not just in ticket sales, but in jersey sales and in partnerships with major brands like Nike. And so now we have this new system. Not only can student athletes now take endorsement deals, elevating their profile before they turn pro, but now they can also be paid directly by their schools, which makes the decision of where those athletes will commit or where they might transfer later on in their college careers much more interesting. I think this is also going to open up a lot of conversation about how long college athletes stay in college before turning pro. If we continue to see a raise in the amount of money that you can make while playing in college, how much longer do we see athletes delay going pro in order to make all of the possible money they can in college? And overall, this is going to continue to make a difference in women's sports specifically. Pro women's sports have seen a huge benefit from name, image, and likeness deals in college, and women's sports becoming profitable at the collegiate level has changed what it looks like to become a professional athlete as a woman. The major differences we see in this system are that athletes are able to provide for themselves and their family as soon as they go to college, that we may see college sports turn into a much longer affair than people leaving immediately as they want to go pro, and that I think women's sports overall are going to continue to grow as we see how much money can be made just at the college level, and as we start to see leagues and sponsors want to keep those lucrative relationships going after they graduate college and go to a pro level. Overall, I think this is actually a really good thing, and it allows young athletes at the middle school and high school level to see a very different future if they continue playing sports. But what do you think? Do you think college sports should have remained amateur? Do you think this is unfair to all of the athletes who came before 2016? And do you think women's sports as a whole are going to benefit from this change?